Hello everybody, Vilisink back again with Raid Shadow Legends, and in today's video I'm going to talk. I did think about top 10, top 5, but this is just my most wanted voids. Most wanted void champions. So earlier today I took myself into the index and I looked through every single faction. Now there is a few factions I'm really not cared about, like Lizardmen, High Elves. There's a few factions that have voids, and I'm not really bothered. Before we start, comment down below, who do you think is the number one void champion that I want out of everybody, out of every void in the game? Which one do you think I'm looking for? Who is number one? I have a list next to me. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 8 champions, and only one has a number. Well, 2 have numbers. The rest do not. So this is just my most wanted voids. The last 2 may be in the order they should be, but the rest of them are just voids that are really cool. So first and foremost, because I think this champion would be badass for Arena, specifically Faction Wars, Doom Tower, but mainly Arena just for her 2-turn revive. Look at that, revives an ally, 75% HP with a full turn meter. So if you get revived by Raglan, you go next. That's it. On a 2-turn cooldown. Ridiculous. She gives you the heal after she removes debuffs, which is okay. And she will attack 3 times on one enemy, filling turn meters of 3 random allies by 15%. But mainly for Miracle. This is why Raglan is one of my most wanted voids. A fun looking champion, I like the design, and I think to own her it would be really cool. So she is on the list. I'm not giving her a number. We are not that far yet. So High Elves, there is none. There's maybe like Ithos, but Ithos ain't nothing. So who else can we go for? I know. Now let's work our way along the list. There's one champion. Now this champion here, Rio Bone Spear, I would like her A because she hits pretty damn hard and she's just a debuffing machine. She has a ridiculous kit that's way overpowered. If you put debuffs on her, she instantly just gives them back to you unless it said cannot be removed. Pressure points is the stun, weaken, decrease defense, decrease attack, decrease crit rate, and then she attacks. Are you kidding me? Overpowered like hell. Perfect body. She cleanses all allies, puts up block debuffs. Also heals all allies by 35% of their max HP. And a further 5% for each debuff removed. So the more debuffs the better. And it goes to a 3-turn cooldown. That's ridiculous. I've seen this hit like super hard. I have fought Rios in the past. And I got to say, I am impressed. So for the debuffs, for perfect body, for this cleanse, absolutely she is a void champion I'm looking for. The A1 is like, eh. The passive is nice. We have the cleanse here. We have all of this debuffs. Who would not want that champion? And she increases ally attack and fast encrypts by 42%. She's stupidly overpowered, but I like it and I want one. So Rio Bone Spear is another void champion that I would like to have. One of my most wanted. So we leave that faction and we travel up. We're going to travel and talk about Angar. Now Angar for me, yes, Warlord is in the same faction, but I really don't care for a Warlord. I mean, yes, he has his uses, but I just don't want him as much as other champions. A1 hits twice, gets an extra hit if the enemy has a provoke, which is interesting because AoE he places provokes. I've fought Angars They are so annoying, they're so strong, they provoke, counter attack, reflect damage, so you're damaging yourself when you hit under a provoke. It's really, really, really nice. Bravado. If an enemy with a provoke debuff attacks, 40% chance of placing a provoke debuff on them for another turn. So effectively you can keep people provoked, they will continually hit you while taking extra damage, and it's a very vicious cycle. The aura's okay, it's 44%, which is almost a 5-star HP chest plate. But this guy is a provoking machine. I've fought him many times and I really don't like him. That's why I want him, because he's good. He hits super hard, there's a lot of damage, and there's just so many teams you could put him in, he would be fantastic. So we now leave orcs, without mentioning Warlord. There you go. Now, there's a champion and his name is Krisk. Now the chance of getting Krisk realistically, unless Plarium go like Krisk get on your ass like they did for that Whiner Cartman, where they gave him a Draco, chances are you might not get one. Like you may not get one, but Krisk is a game changer. End game, early game, mid game, I don't care. If you finished everything in the game and you get a Krisk, you're going to build him. You will use him. A1 decreased speed, 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns on the AoE, which is very nice. AoE, ally protection buff on all allies except this champion. Places 2 continuous heal buffs for a turn and increases the duration of all enemy buffs. So you can use him pretty much all over the place. Now he has a provoke that he can place on all enemies. He has increased defense on this champion and increased speed on all allies. So that makes him good Doom Tower, good everywhere. Makes him really good in clan boss. If you're looking at if you're inspired by like Victor Tess and like he who is the uncrowned god or crowned god of clan boss, there ain't nobody beating Victor Tess. I don't care. This dude knows clan boss. And he uses 2 Krisks. So you can extend pretty much debuffs. You can have lower speeds in your champions because you have that increased speed buff. And all you need is just to extend that buff and it never falls off. Alongside that, Krisk in Arena, one of the most annoying champions, because you know he's coming in a shield set, you know he's going to have like deflection on. I mean, I've fought multiple Krisks, I've defeated a lot of them, but they are tanky, they're strong, they're high plat. If you're up there, you're going to see Krisks, you're going to see Krisks, there are more Krisks. But I never bought him, so Krisk is on the list. I think everybody would want one. He is also one of my most wanted voids. So, we're now going... So, see, in Barbarians now, I was looking and I was thinking, because I don't want to necessarily... I may want more than one Barbarian, but I would rather just have one just now from a faction. And as good as Ursuga is, you can tank her up and so on and so forth. The champion that I would actually really like, and I wanted this dude for genuinely a while, is Turvold. Because he's a bloody damage dealer. He's ridiculous. I would put this dude into clan boss easy. Clan boss. Now, why would I do that? A1's got a weaken, fair enough. Increased attack, increased crit rate, increased speed, gets an extra turn. Juggernaut. Attacks one enemy twice, damage increases according to the number of buffs on this champion. So he buffs himself. Now if you include the block debuffs in the unkillable, and any other buffs you have before this champion, you can hit over 500,000 easy, 600k in clan boss. It's just the way it is. He looks fantastic. His aura is 42% attack and fasting crypts, which the Barbarian's crypt is quite easy. Syl can basically solo it. But I mean, come on. If you had a choice of Jotun and Torvald, you know who you're picking. Torvald, one of my most wanted Void champions. Now, there's 2 left on the page. I wrote some names down and there's 2 Void champions left. 2. Who do you think they are and where are we going? There's probably one person watching this right now who knows who number 1 is, but will that person be right? We do not know. Will you be wrong? Maybe. Let's find out. So the Undead Horde has a lot of good voids in it. A lot of Missani, Damage Dealer, Eurost. Yeah, from Doom Tower. The Cret is good, but honestly, don't know if I'd use him. The person I'm going to go for is Sifi. Now, along with her kit, she can put up a sleep, which is, I believe, like a 100% chance. Can't be resisted. You get the heal. You get block debuffs, increased defense, increased speed. Revives an ally with a full turn meter. Over half of their HP. Gives an attack buff. And an increased crit rate buff. And pretty much you will see her anywhere. Now, the reason I want Sifi mainly is because I have Rotos. I would love to go into faction more Sifi and Rotos, or I'd like to go into Arena and just have a Sifi and Rotos. I would like it for Doom Tower because of the synergies they have. You get the resist. Rotos gets the cleanse effectively at the start of a turn. She will buff any revived allies. A2, block debuffs, increased defense, increased speed. So even with defense based champions, that increased defense is massive. That gives them a lot of defense, a lot. So of all the people on the page right now, but mainly just because I have Rotos, and genuinely Rotos misses Sifi. They should be together. Come on, Plarium. They need to be together. So, I would like her. I would use her in Arena, Doom Tower, just because she is that good. She would become my fastest champion. I would give her all Arbiter's gear. And I would just have so much fun. Just absolutely, it would be just so much fun for Arena for me personally. So let's call her the number 2 wanted Void in the game. Now you may have noticed we have only looked at legendary champions. So who is the number 1? You're screaming it at the computer screen. Who do you think the number 1 champion is? The number 1 most wanted Void. And I only say this champion is my number 1 wanted or most wanted Void champion because he is. I've wanted this champion for a bloody long time. Why? Because he's ridiculous, he's scary. I know a lot of people have him and it's not fair because I don't have one. I know people that have multiple soulless, which is just, come on. Enable trading in the game, let me have one. Soulless. Legitimately, we went through other champions so far, but this is legitimately my number 1 wanted Void. If I pull Chris before him, I'm going to be disappointed. If there was anything I could do to guarantee soulless like Dragon Champions, where you have all the different shops and you can work towards getting a champion, I would absolutely do that. Knights Revenant, defense, legendary. A1, you can place a stun, 50%, so high chance to land it. He's defense based, so you can make defense. I wonder if you can hear my cat sleeping. There's a little whistle in the background. Bless Stevie. 50% chance to stun. If you wanted, you could give him the mastery for 5% more, but you would maybe want to think about that. But he is defense based, so you can make him as tanky as hell, and he will hit harder. No need to worry about attack, just go pure defense. Wave of Despair. Attacks 3 times at random. Each hit, when booked, 100% chance to remove a buff. Places a provoke debuff for 1 turn if a buff is removed. So it is a little bit situational, but it hits bloody hard. It really does hit hard. And if you land that provoke, if you give him the accuracy to land it, or sorry, if it lands either way, fantastic. If you're provoked by Solus, and he's, for instance, in an opposing team and they have team counter-attack, you're screwed. Solus will nail you to the floor. Reign of Terror, like one of the sickest animations in the game, and dude, legitimately why I want this champion. Reign of Terror, AoE, increases the duration of all debuffs on each target by a turn. As if that wasn't bad enough. Then places a provoke debuff on all enemies for a turn. And if that wasn't bad enough, places a shield buff on himself for 2 turns equal to 30% of the damage inflicted. Damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. So the more debuffs essentially he can extend. Now there's going to be provokes, but if you've already been in, they maybe have HP burn, like decreased speed, decreased defense, decreased attack, all that type of thing. That just makes this move really stronger. I've seen Solus hit for over 200k, so nobody's telling me he doesn't hit well. You give him accuracy, you make him tanky, and you make him as quick as he needs to be. Solus is potentially one of the best voids in the game, and that's just how it is. And he is my most wanted void legendary champion. And on that subject, Sifi, the person we spoke about just a minute ago, if Sifi went first for that increased defense, it would make Solus like just so stupid. He'd blow the roof off the place. I love Solus. I need that provokes. I need that despair. I want the wave of misery. Give it to me. Come on. Look at the shield. The shield itself is ridiculous. Look at those eyes. You could be hypnotized by those eyes. He's a bulky lad. He has fantastic base defense. So you're getting that to at least 4k, without question. Some HP, as quick as he needs to be. Some damage stats, some accuracy. This is my most wanted void champion. So guys, that will conclude today's video. I looked through all of the index and I wanted to kind of just break down, yes, my number 1 wanted, but also some other voids in the game that I really would like to have just due to their uses, just due to their gear sets, their kit, because they're a little bit OP. But, I mean, for me it has to be Solus. Down below, stick a comment in your most wanted void champion. It could be anybody from any faction. Please let me know. But guys, as always, I want you to stay safe, keep raiding, and I will catch you in the next video.